The Wolverine leaks have just gotten worse. If anything, it's bigger than even the GTA 6 leaks now. I had another video in mind to be uploaded today, but my plans were sort of derailed after learning about Insomniacs Wolverine. To those of you that aren't aware of the entire situation, let me catch you up on the lore real quick. For a while now, I presume, a group of hackers had been working diligently in order to breach Sony and in turn Insomniac Games' network. We don't know exactly what they were looking for, but we do know what they were able to steal. Last Tuesday, December 12th, Sony were greeted at their doorstep by a nice little message from the hackers demanding $2 million or 50 Bitcoin, or else they would release confidential employee information, including their US passport scans and personal information such as addresses and social security numbers they found through employee W-9 tax forms. But we're not done. They also stole information on Insomniac's upcoming game slate up until 2030 and screenshots/videos of current and past builds of their upcoming Wolverine game. They also supposedly had an actual working version that they were able to boot up on their PlayStations, meaning they also most likely had the entire source code of the game. If you don't know, with the source code of a game, it is possible to create an infinite number of copies of said game. This could either be sold to malicious entities for extremely high prices depending on the game, or just outright uploaded to pirate sites, making it publicly available to download for the entire internet. And that $2 million price tag, or 50 Bitcoins as they originally asked, was also just a starting price. They could raise it however they saw fit. Of course, Sony wasn't about to give in to their demands. I mean, obviously they're hackers, they don't deserve that much money. And so they left the hackers on red and did some internal investigations on their own, hoping the hackers were just bluffing. Unfortunately for Sony, the hackers weren't, and it would soon release and possibly even sell much of the information they had stolen, which is how multiple clips of Wolverine began being tossed around everywhere, though mostly on Twitter. I'll quickly mention that I was able to find the leaks literally by just searching Wolverine on YouTube. So if you don't want to be spoiled or see those leaks, I'd say heed caution with YouTube for now. This was bad for many reasons. Obviously for the employees, because now they've practically been doxxed and had their information sold to probably some stupid advertisers, but also for Insomniac as a whole, as public perception was now hurt. I obviously will not be showing any of these clips in the video, but I will describe them in a way that will help you draw up an image in your head. I won't spoil anything about the game, so don't worry. So one scene from the leak shows Wolverine traversing around some objects with some nice and rapid movement mechanics. But since this is still an early build, Wolverine's body parts are a little bit janky and wonky, with his arms practically looking as if they weren't even attached to the bones of his body. But for some reason, dumbass people believe that this is what the game will look like upon release, with physics that defy the laws of gravity. There's no release date even announced yet, and they're already assuming the game is near completion and it looks like this, just like a bunch of idiots. Then there was another scene where we see Wolverine investigate a room like Sherlock Holmes, and during this search, the camera gets pretty up close and personal to the model's face. Yes, it looks as if a child tried molding Wolverine out of clay, but again, this is still an early build. There's still so much work to be done, especially on the model. In this same clip, a cutscene that hadn't been animated yet plays and switches to storyboard art of said animation, literally right in front of your faces, showing that it's not yet finished, and people still want to say that's what the game will look like. It's so confusing. There's only one thing I will agree with those dumbasses on, because I also felt the same way while watching them. It's that the combat feels a lot like what we're already familiar with in Spider-Man. By that I mean it seems it'll follow the same route of mashing buttons in order to hit combos, as the game does most of the fighting for you through its animations. Don't get me wrong, that's not bad by any means. I actually like this combat in Spider-Man. I'm just saying it's something I noticed that might turn off a lot of players, so just be aware, I guess. But again, this is still very early in development. I can't emphasize that enough. The game may go through so many different changes, and by the time it's released, we'll see something completely different than what we see now. Anyways, let's just move on from those leaks before I lose my temper, because here's where it gets even worse. For a while now, we all assumed that this was as far as the leaks went, just some game clip leaks and confidential information similar to the GTA 6 leaks. However, unlike GTA 6, an actual playable build of the game has found its way onto the internet. That's right, if you know where to look, you can actually find a download for Wolverine. Of course, with my hacking expertise, I was able to find it here. I'm obviously not going to share where it is, share the link, none of that, because you shouldn't be downloading it regardless. It unfortunately is really easy to find this download. If my bird brain can do it, literally anyone can. I'll be honest, I was going to download it, but halfway through the download, I deleted the file because it's obviously not right. That, and I didn't want to go to jail. By the way, if you plan on searching for the download, just know you'll probably stumble upon a shitload of fake downloads on the way. I won't tell you where to find the download, but I will say that the real file name has a portion that reads "do not use -pc." It also has the date November 27 and 29, 2022 listed. I'm only telling you this because I don't want you curious Georges looking for it to get hacked or infected with viruses and malware. I'm a villain, not a monster. But this is illegal, by the way. These files are not meant for anyone besides Insomniac or trusted beta testers to feast their eyes upon. If you were to go through the process of downloading it, depending on your internet service provider, you will get a nice little email informing you that you have indeed broken DMCA laws. Don't worry, if that happens, all you have to do is delete the file and the scary lawsuits will go away. But it's still something to keep in mind, which is why you should be using a VPN, like today's sponsor, NordVPN. I'm just joking. As of writing this, I literally have the tab of the game's download open, meaning it is still available, but who knows for how much longer. A little interesting point I wanted to add was that one downloader actually created a playable Scarlet Witch mod. The game doesn't even have a release date, mind you, and there are already mods for it. Holy shit. But for all we know, this story is still developing. It might even get crazier than this, who knows? Maybe we'll find out that the hacker was actually Hugh Jackman this whole time. But I just wanted to make a quick video explaining the situation because I've never seen something like this before, mainly because I've never paid attention to leaks, but as a YouTuber, I now have to pay attention to practically every bit of news. And Insomniac is just casually posting on Twitter like nothing has happened. I know it's better not to bring attention to this, but I just kind of find it a little funny. Anyways, that's all for this video. If you liked the video, subscribe, leave a like, comment down below how much of a hero I was for resisting the urge to download the file. I've been Wolverine, you've been watching a completely legal video, and ciao ciao.